Hey, good morning. Welcome to Your World with Kids. My name is Melissa Dillon. I'm your host here at Raising Kindness. And today we're going to talk about times when your kid is just speaking too loud. So I actually had a parent write in and she said, I'm interested in any tips you have for getting a loud 5-year-old to talk quieter. He has one volume and it's high. Help! Okay, so I am going to help you, and we're going to use the World Method, which is a part of the Parenting Evolve framework. Everything we talk about here at Your World with Kids is, you can find it in the Parenting Evolve campus, and right now it is totally open for enrollment, and you get to name your price. So if you go to parentingevolve.com, then you can go over there, and then also the link in the description here in this video, you can go there to get a free preview that'll actually take you through a workshop of uncovering your wisdom as a parent. So it's pretty cool, so check it out. All right, so let's dive in. So first, what you need to do is you need to tap into your observation and reflection of what's actually going on. So when your child is speaking loudly, some of you, so in this case with this parent, your child is speaking loudly all the time. It's their only volume. And some of you, maybe it's just during certain times of the day, or maybe during certain moments of the day, something's triggering your child. So you want to observe what is going on when it happens. Is there a trigger that is setting your child off to speak at this loud volume and now it's become habit? So ask yourself that, just reflect back on those times when your child speaks loudly, or this evening when you get home and you're interacting with your child, pay attention to what's going on in the environment. Is everyone vying for each other's attention? That tends to be a routine with a lot of families. We're all very busy. We get home from work and school and everyone's speaking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And sometimes the littlest ones in the group get left out in the fray. So just pay attention to that. Are they interrupting conversations, waiting for their turn impatiently and finally speaking too loudly? And does the change in volume correlate with anything? So ask yourself those things. How is the body language of your child? So is your child acting like they're excitable when this happens? Or are they just kind of even keel, just really level and there's nothing going on? It's just that high volume. I've had students who come in and they would be in my classes and they would get up in my face with this really loud volume because they were under the impression that if they didn't speak loudly, that I wouldn't be able to hear them. It became a culture in their home. There are also kids who they just wouldn't have any body language signals that anything was going on and there was any distress, but they would still speak really, really high. And it was just how they spoke. So ask yourself, is there anything going on in your child's body that indicates that there is a stressor, that there is a correlation between the environment and the high volume? Or is there no stressor at all? So once you've gotten your observation and reflection down, then move into learning a new skill. So that's what we're going to do next. So what do you do about this? So first and foremost, I'm going to ask you, how much time one-on-one do you spend with your child each day? So many parenting experts, this is a positive parenting tactic originally, but together time. So spending at least one session, 10 minutes daily of one-on-one together time with your child where you're fully immersed and uninterrupted can eliminate a lot of challenges and behaviors. So if your child is vying for attention, then it may be because they haven't had enough of the one-on-one attention that they're craving. So every child has an attention tank and a power tank. They want to feel like they're in control of their own life, that they have this freedom of autonomy in your family, that they're feeling a sense of significance and they're being heard, they have a voice, and they're also craving that attention. So those two things get a huge hit of filling right up with that together time. And for those of you who are members of Parenting Evolve, you can go in and actually the Together Time module will be published on Friday. You'll get to learn all about that. It's actually finished. I could probably do it today. If you have questions, let me know. If you want it in there today, tell me, and then I will add it, okay? And if you want a free preview, let me know. Maybe I'll open that up to a free preview. But together time is so important. And it's also important for you because you get to let go and let your child take over and make decisions for your one-on-one together time. What are you going to play together? They get to make the decision. Where is the imagination going to turn to? They get to make the decision. They get to lead. And you could just chillax and enjoy your playtime. And it's pretty cool because playtime, together time, it boosts their resilience, their self-confidence, their self-worth. all the things that may be causing your child to speak in high volumes may be mitigated from filling their cup, giving them that attention. Okay, so on to the next. So once you get that done, once you have your together time, consider taking time for training. So if your child is speaking in a high volume, then train them of the expectation. And the way that you train a child is you practice. So role play, get together, spend some time. This is dedicated time to say, okay, sweetheart, I've noticed that your volume is always so high when you speak, and we speak in a volume like this. We're in the same room, we use inside voices. Can you show me your inside voice? Let them show you your inside voice. Okay, let's practice. And keep in mind, pull things out of your hat based on the observations that you've made. And even ask your child in this moment of time, during your time of training, ask your child, is there anything that I can do to help you? Why do you think you speak at such a high volume sometimes? And sometimes they may say, I don't know. And of course, we want to be sensitive. We don't want to make them feel unconscious or unconscious. You don't want them to feel self-conscious about it. But the only way they learn acceptable behaviors is through teaching. And so we just need to uncover and just say, it's okay, sweetie, we're going to work on it together. Let's figure out how we can get you at a volume that's an inside voice, or a kindergarten volume, whatever you call it. Talk to your teacher or your child's teacher and see if they have any ideas. What are the key words they use in their classroom that get your child to, or and fellow students to speak at an inside voice, especially when they're excitable at school. So that way you can incorporate that at home and incorporate it into your training. And then you'll practice your role play where your child will play him or herself, and you will play the parent as the gentle reminder of, we're using inside voices. Now, what does an inside voice sound like? And they'll demonstrate for you. Now let me switch, and you pretend that you're the child and you get silly and kind of loud and help them, and then they'll guide you and pretend that they're the parent correcting you. And a big thing talking about correction is we don't want to be the corrector. That's not our job. Our job is to guide and practice. So one thing you can do actually is incorporate a signal. Come up with a fun signal together that you can use. Like, okay, sweetie, we're going to come up with a top secret signal that I can give you in the moment when you're being too loud. Because it really hurts my ears, and I can barely hear you when you're so loud. It's such a high volume. I can't hear it. I have to ignore it so it doesn't hurt my ears. So instead, I'm going to use a signal to help you remember. And one that I love that really works with Bodhi, with a lot of different things, because it's so universal, is the do-over signal that I learned from Amy McCready's course, Positive Parenting Solutions. So she does something like this. And I don't know if it's universal. I've never seen anyone else do it, but I thought it was really cool. It's like, do-over, let's try that again. And it could just be this super signal, and you don't have to say anything. And that triggers your child to think about it, like, what am I supposed to do? Over again. Oh, I was speaking too loudly. Let me try that again. And they'll use their normal voice. The biggest thing too is if you're filling their cup with attention, you're already addressing it. You've already observed everything, and you've addressed all the concerns that may be triggering the loud voices, and still your child is having a loud voice. So the next step would be that you are ignoring them, you're following through, you're doing the do-over. If it seems like they still can't figure it out and it's starting to stir up some emotional frustrations in your child, then I would go into going back to the drawing board with your reflection, asking yourself some more questions, and doing a deeper dive in your learning about your child. Because there very well may be the possibility that they might need to get their hearing checked. Or maybe your teacher has noticed some things that are also going on in the classroom that could help you clue into what's going on. Because normally a child who is still not learning this new skill of using the inside voice, if they're still using their high voice and then they're starting to express strong emotions, maybe they're crying now because they can't figure it out and they feel like no one's helping them, whatever, they're getting frustrated with themselves, then this is a problem that it might be part of a bigger problem that needs to be addressed. So maybe go see a doctor and see if there's anything that you need to address. I've also had students who have gone to speech therapy because they spoke too loud, and it turned out there was something going on with speech. I'm not a speech therapist, so I don't know, but it was amazing. I mean, within just a few months, one child that stood out to me because she just accelerated it at understanding the inside voice and using her language in such a different way. I was like, wow, this is really effective for a child who speaks very loudly. Noted that's something that could happen. So, speaking to your school about the services that they offer or external resources, you might want to look into that and learn about that too. So don't rule that out. And if there's anything going on like that, that's okay. The most important thing is to help your child and get them what they need so they do feel that sense of being heard. They do feel the sense of having a voice that is heard without yelling. Pun kind of intended. They just want to feel supported. So just follow with the cues. I hope that helps. So just to recap a little bit, what you're going to do is you're going to observe and reflect, ask some really good questions of yourself, observe the environment when your child is using that really high voice, and then learn a new way, learn some new skills by using together time. So incorporate that together time and use a signal while you're taking some time for training. Train your child on a signal you can use so you don't have to constantly remind them. Get yourself out of that mode of being the reminderer, and instead you just get to calmly use a signal. Take the one that Amy McCready suggested to us. And then finally, if you still find that's not working, then talk to a specialist and your child's teacher and some other adults in your life to see if they have any suggestions for you as well. All right, so moving forward on Your World with Kids, we're going to cover as many questions as I can on this show. For now, I'm just going to do one at a time, once a week. We'll see how that goes with time. Please do feel free to submit your questions. PM me if you want to. If you want me to answer your questions, I'll do a new one every week. And then also I'll cover strategies and tactics that are pulled right out of the Parenting Evolved methodology. So you'll learn a little bit of nuggets about the World Method. You'll learn a little bit more about presence, play, and harmony and what that means in the evolved parenting lifestyle. If you want to incorporate that into your life, let me know. PM me if you have any questions. But you're going to learn all sorts of that every week right here, every Tuesday morning. And I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope that this helps. Take care.